All right, let's direct our attention to the downward efforts in search for truth, thing one. I feel the road, but I feel like it's going off track.
And it squiggles, big squiggles.
It's an off-track road.
That's true.
Okay, this is supposed to be going straight down, straight like a laser.
Down.
Jack's saying, but it's a mountain range and I have to go around them. No, you can blast a tunnel through. We are not allowed to do that. What you're doing is against the rules.
That's true.
And we understand this pattern of changing the assignment because we've all done it.
I do this all the time. That's true.
And the point is the assignment actually doesn't change. It's only our wishful thinking, and we think the assignment is too hard and that we can't possibly do it, and no one could possibly do it.
That's true.
And therefore we must change the assignment, and so we change the assignment rather than doing it, and the
That's
assignment
true.
hasn't actually changed. The assignment is to go straight down, so all the road you built after that first deviation is useless.
That's true.
It's completely useless, and so now the thing to do is just cut your losses, come back to where the tunnel is supposed to go, and start drilling the tunnel. Now you can drill it, you can soften it up just like we're doing in Search for Truth with the cables and with the intentions. What are we doing here? What we're doing is creating a space for truthfulness.
That's true.
On the central axis of thing one, a space where truth can prevail. A space where truth can prevail. And those big lumps are big lies. We see it in our own pillar. That's what we were talking about not 10 minutes ago,
That's
maybe
true.
15 minutes ago, with the base of the Search for Truth central axis. When we hit one of those big mountain-looking things, it shows us a huge, enormous foundational lie.
That's true.
That can be viewed as valuable evidence and drawn out whole all the way up through the reporting chain of the highest concentrations of truth and integrity that we're able to connect with right now. And be sure we get it past the children. This chain is in large part constructed of children, pure
That's
children, and do not deposit this into a child or a baby. It makes them sick.
That's true.
And that's disgusting to get it all the way up to an adult who should be taking action to make a difference. And you can find them easily by just feeling for a workplace. There aren't babies in the workplaces. Feel for something that feels like a workplace and clear the big lie there, and then there is no mountain. And what you're saying is isn't true. Well, I can't do that because something.
Yeah, that's not true.
There's never a reason that's valid why we can't fulfill the assignment. We actually can fulfill the assignment. And so flip your thinking around. Assume that you can do it, and then now try to figure out how. What you're doing is assuming you can't do it and trying to find excuses of why it's okay to not do it.
That's true.
And flip it around and say, okay, now I intend to do it. And how? How will I do this?
That's true.
And we're actually telling you how, and we've proven that this system works. We've been using this method for quite a while
That's
now.
True.
And it's worked every time. Have you tried it?
No.
We'll bifurcate right now. Most true in the experience of thing one to the central axis of the thing one Search for Truth pillar. Least truthful in thing one's experience, flung farthest away from the central axis, opening up a truthful space and starting to burn that which is least truthful, the 50% or 80% least truthful. Burn the 80% least truthful and draw the 20% most truthful to the central axis. Space is beginning to clear. I think it's stretching it to call it clear space.
That's true.
It isn't clear, but it is less solidly compacted with lies.
That's true.
What now? What now? Where's Joseph? He got lost.
That's true.
And he's feeling scared and panic. He's trying to find his way back, and he can't.
That's true. And he feels like he keeps hitting dead ends and dark corners.
He feels like he is advanced in. Let's recall him to search for truth. Recall to search for truth.
Pillar.
All search for truth family who are lost. Recall to the search for truth pillar.
To the approach tunnel.
To the approach tunnel. Recall to the approach tunnel. All search for truth family who feel lost. I feel like there's a big reunion happening in the approach tunnel.
It's true, a big influx of soul energy coming in.
Oh, this is nice. Recall to the search for truth approach tunnel. Look how many of them there are.
A very big number.
It's a huge number.
That's true.
Fascinating.
It reminds me of how we do no one left behind screenings for all members of the Search for Truth family who are being detained or harassed for their work in the Search for Truth efforts. It feels a lot like those screenings.
And we haven't found anybody
for a long time, maybe a week.
Maybe a week.
That's
but
true.
These people have gotten lost and wandered off of their own accord.
That's true. And so they weren't being harassed or detained.
No, they just got lost.
That's
they
true.
lost their way. Good, you're in the right place.
It's true.
Joseph looks really, he's saying, I've got to get back, I've got to get back.
That's true.
Well, very possibly. It's very possible. But to go up to where Dunbar is and then drop down, straight down, and don't deviate, stay on the absolute straight and narrow central axis. Don't get off the central axis for any reason whatsoever. And any obstacle or blockage you hit, is treat it like valuable evidence of an untruth buried in the subatomic, and pull it up whole through the reporting chain onto the desks of adults who should be taking responsible action, and then continue straight down.
That's true.
Straight down like a laser. The Thing 1 central axis looks a lot worse now than it did 24 hours ago.
That's true.
What's happened in the interim is the next wave of red tail light people, which is all these related souls.
That's true.
Are nice people. If I met them on the street, I would think they were a nice person.
That's true.
But they're being very hazardous to the effort, and they've now just made a mockery of the work in Thing 1, basically.
Right, that's true.
So this isn't their right place. And we see how Dunbar this morning was saying, you're screening out my whole work crew.
We were screening out people who didn't want to help.
Right.
And Dunbar said, oh, no, you're taking all my
crew.
people.
And we stopped what we were doing, but it was a mistake to stop. We see that now. We were screening out those who aren't helpful. Let's screen out all who are not helpful. If we aren't helpful, we're hurtful.
That's true.
Nobody's ever neutral. If we think someone's neutral, all we have to do is increase the level of precision, and we can determine whether or not they're helpful or hurtful.
That's true.
Just be more precise. So we'll screen out all who are not helpful and give them a free ride to the base of Thing 36. Because they don't want to help in a search for truth effort. What they probably need is a reality check, and there's nothing like being an abused child to help you get in contact with reality.
That's true.
So the screens are they're magnetized for neutrality, with the intent to hit anybody who's unhelpful, pick up anybody who's unhelpful, who's less than neutral.
That's true.
And deposit them to the base of Thing 36. I think we're about done.
Oh, that's true, Conductor. Dunbar, Joseph, Jack.
There's a lot of really sad Han Solos who really wanted to be done with their bad karma balancing.
Yeah, I feel those guys.
But you aren't. I'm sorry.
It's just not done.
It's not remotely done. You're not even
close.
to 2% done.
No, that's true.
And those of you who are arguing with it, you're pretty much erasing the good karma that
you've already
accrued, because you're arguing with Source. Wow.
Time's going to pass anyway, guys.
Right. You've been enjoying the work. You've been enjoying the people you've been working with.
That's true. You like the work. You like the company. Time's going to pass anyway.
What's the problem? It seems like a win-win-win.
That's true.
But we're going to screen out all who are not helpful, all who are not helpful, all who are not actively helpful right now to the base of thing 36. The vortices are being underutilized. This is the third day in a row that the vortices are being underutilized. Come on, friends, let's pulse these vortices right now. There's an awful lot of coal dust in the air.
That's true.
It's not that there's no work for them to do. There's a lot of work for them to do. It's up to us to make it happen.
That's true.
Let's ask Cables and Probe right now to join us. Right now, let's feel up for a working divine delivery system. Really stretch for it. I feel the ancient road. And you know what was coming up in the work this morning is how much this looks like the roads through thing 1 and thing 2 and whatnot when we come through it. Not long afterward, the work that we had done before looks ancient. I think Treehouse Loose has fallen up here. I think that's what's happened. He fell up.
That could be.
And he's up there somewhere. I see him waving. And I ask, do you have a divine delivery system yet? And he laughs and says no. But he looks happy.
That's true.
He's falling up. I like that.
Me too.
Well, fascinating. Rock on.
Good for you.
Well, maybe if we can just keep him in sight, or just...
If he's on the central axis.
If he's on the central axis, which he may not be.
Right,
so
I don't
just
think
keep
he
going
is.
up.
That's true.
Hey, you're not on the central axis. Treehouse Loose. You're off center. He doesn't want to believe it.
No, he
It's
doesn't want to
still
believe
true.
it, and he doesn't want to change.
All right.
Whatever.
So then we have to be careful and not follow that ancient road. I see how I would be inclined to just follow the ancient road.
Me too.
Right. Okay, let's just keep going straight up.
Straight up.
And now I have that deep space feeling
That's
beeping
true.
again. Okay.
Kind of
All right.
peaceful, empty
Yes.
space feeling. What's cool here?
It's
cool to follow the search for truth rules. It's cool to tend the needs of the greater good.
It's
very cool to tune to the new greater good programming, and let's do that right now. Tuning the needs of the greater good
matter more than the needs of individuals and groups.
It's very cool to draw up the channels of the smaller subatomic levels through us and through, not to us, and through the highest concentrations of truth and integrity that we can connect with right now through the reporting chain,
and to get the lies way past the pure children onto the desks of adults who should be taking action.
It's cool to excel at the basics. The law of cause and effect is real and applies to everyone without exception. No breaking things in the search for truth hosts or hosts' lives. The law of cause and effect is real and applies to everyone without exception. No poisoning your related souls with lower vibrations. The law of cause and effect is real and applies to everyone without exception. No personal use of the Search for Truth facilities.